This week on Motorhead Garage, Brian and John upgrade the electronics in a K5 Blazer. And later on, learn about comfortable off-road camping, as well as an appealing way to paint. Next on Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting.
Welcome to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. We got this awesome K5 Blazer in the shop this week. Thing's got a 3 on the tree, it's got a small block Chevy, it's got some fresh looking paint, but it doesn't have a radio. We got parts from Rock Auto to spruce up the mechanical end of the truck, but from the electronic side, our friends at Custom Autosound have a great solution to make this thing not only look great, but sound great too.
Custom Autosound has been making OEM fit radios since 1977 for classic cars and trucks like our K5 Blazer. Not only are we going to bring the sound up to the 21st century, we're going to bring the technology up to new car technology because this thing's packed with it. Let's take a look at it. Now, our radio here right on the front, you can see it's got the classic look, but if I slide the slide bar, this is their famous slide bar, this is going to give you an LCD display with 7 different colors and changes you can make. Now on the back is where all the technology is packed. You can see back here you actually got a subwoofer out, you have a iPod for charging on the back of it, along with the different connections back here for USB, so you can put anything you want on this radio. You also have the ins and the outs for the audios, the line in and out, and you have all the connections and knobs that come with it. We're also going to put these subwoofers in there, and these are super nice because these actually mount on the bottom like this flat, or you can put them upright and mount them on the side. They're 8-inch subwoofers, and they have the tweeters built into each one of the sides, and all the mounting hardware comes with it. This is their undercover system, 250 watts. This radio has 300 watts. We're going to put some power into this. As a matter of fact, if you flip it over, it's super easy to install. If you don't want to read the instructions, the schematic's located right here. Matter of fact, it's so easy, we put Brian inside the K5 pickup truck. He's installing it.
So John's not kidding. Wiring isn't exactly my strong suit, but the good news is Custom Autosounds makes this very, very simple. We already integrated the wiring harness for the radio into our truck's wiring. Now it's just a matter of plugging stuff in and sliding the head unit in. Now in this particular application, we removed the glove compartment. That's our access to the opening in the dash. Everything's going to be a little different. Sometimes you're going to come up from the bottom, but this is pretty easy. You get a nice gaping hole to use. Real easy. Take our plugs that can only go in one way into the radio. They snap right in the back. You can hear a nice little positive click as the locking clips go in there. Our existing antenna cable from the truck is going to slide right in the back here into the antenna port. Then it's just a matter of kind of sliding everything in and fitting it perfectly. We did pre-fit this just to make sure we had everything lined up correctly and make sure everything is going to work. And it does fit right like the factory would have wanted it to. So we rotate it through. Going to line up our knobs here. Goes right in the factory opening. Now in the back of the radio there is a stud, and we have a little piece of steel that was provided with the kit, and I'm going to line that up with and attach to the back to support the weight of the radio behind it. Takes a little bit of fiddling to line it up, but the result of this is going to be nice sounds that this truck has not had in a long, long time. The factory AM radio this thing was designed with doesn't exactly meet today's standards of entertainment, so it's going to be good when we get everything lined up. Plus we got those speakers that are going to go in the back too. Custom Autosound really does make this a nice finished operation. You get some of these washers that are going to slide on here, and of course we have our nuts that are going to secure it to the dash. Once we get these tightened up, get our knobs on, really the only thing we got left to do at that point is just double check our connections, and we're going to be listening to some music. Now we have the speakers that John showed you on the table that are going to go in, and the beauty of those speakers is the fact on a vehicle, especially like something like this K5 Blazer, there's a bunch of places we could put them. We could go under the seats, but the cool thing about this truck is there's plenty of flat surfaces to mount those too. So if you can I can give you a quick indication here of just how clean this thing looks. We slide our knobs on here. That one's on there. And then we're going to work this other one on. I can show you what the finished knob product's going to look like. And again, really kind of looks just the way the GM would have designed it to look back in the day. And that's the cool thing here. You get the great factory look that this truck clearly has.
Well, I got the negative battery cable reconnected. You know, it's always a good idea to disconnect the battery if you're working on any electrical system.
That's doubly true if I'm involved. I finished up the installation of the radio. It's beautiful, fits right in the factory hole. Knobs are on there. I got the nut on the stud in the rear of the radio with the support bracket. Everything's ready to go. And John, you were working on those speakers, man.
Yeah, they're awesome. I could have mounted them under the seat, but there's a perfect place right here on the side. Just screwed them in there, mounted them, ran the wires. This thing's ready for a test run. Let's see what it sounds like.
Now listen, I'm going to warn you, this is not Dan Fogelberg's greatest hits like you like to listen to, all right?
Yeah.
Fire it up. We got power there. We got custom auto sound coming across the digital readout. And there you have it.
Man,
nice, man.
that.
That's great.
This one's right off your playlist.
Hop in. Let's go for a ride.
Yeah, right? Hey, I'll tell you what, we are going to go on a test drive, but you stick around. There's plenty more Motorhead Garage to come. I'll tell you what, Brian, you're driving, so go ahead, James, onward. And take the mountainous route, will you?
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is being brought to you by Extreme Polymers. Experience extreme performance. Custom Autosound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radio since 1977. Forever Wave, the only interchangeable flag system. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now check this out. Is it a camper, is it a trailer, or is it a military vehicle? Matter of fact, it qualifies for all of them. And I'm here with Steve from Schutt Industries. Steve, I see the military flair here. Tell me a little background about your company and your military background.
Schutt Industries started in 1998, so we've been in business for over 19 years now. And we started building trailers for the U.S. military. What we have here is a trailer that was designed off a military Jeep trailer originally. And so it has the military design and kind of the structure that we would build into any of our military products.
Right, and it's real evident. I mean, let's start from the front and work all the way to the back. I mean, the front alone, just the actual hitch itself, how it articulates, how you can take the thing off-road and it'll actually go over some rocks and everything else. Let's start with that.
The Max Coupler is a 360-degree articulating hitch. So it allows the trailer to traverse with the vehicle and basically articulate over all types of terrain. It's noiseless, and it allows that articulation so that, you know, if you're going between the truck and trailer, different terrains, without limiting either the vehicle or the trailer. In the front of the trailer, we have a toolbox that houses our power control center, which contains 2 deep cycle batteries, a 1,000-watt inverter, and 2-bank battery charger.
Now this is all military wiring. I mean, the grade is phenomenal. You can see the connections and everything on there. I mean, it's really top notch.
Military grade wiring. The wiring is actually ran through the chassis.
Wow.
It's completely enclosed and housed in the trailer frame. Moving along the trailer here, we have right in front of us a galley table. And so this is kind of the work center for, you know, optional stovetops, sinks, faucets, as well as just utility purpose.
Well, Steve, I see the sink. You even got the water covered.
We've got the water covered. So the trailer can be equipped with a 22-gallon water system. So the water tank itself is mounted under the trailer chassis above the axle. And so it's housed in a aluminum skid plate, 3/16 aluminum skid plate, and completely protected from the elements. But that'll house the water for the entire system, as well as power our on-demand water heater. So not only do you have water, but you also have hot and cold running water.
Now the trailer itself, I mean, this is what you were saying. It runs through the actual frame here, all the stuff, the water lines, everything's going through the actual frame. Tell us a little bit about the trailer itself, the durability, the weight capability, and everything else.
This trailer is unique because of its frame construction. What you're holding there is a 2.5 by 3.5 1/4-inch wall thick aluminum tube. And as you can see, it's non-welded. In fact, there is no structural welds on the trailer. It's completely fastened, mechanically fastened by what we call a huck bolt. It's a rivet that holds a 5,000-pound bonding strength. So that thing can pull, it can flex without breaking. And what that does, in comparison to traditional steel welded trailers, as over time they can become fatigue. Welds can break, whereas the huck bolt design is fatigue-free, vibration resistance, so that this thing can traverse over the most rugged terrain with no issue. And with all of the trailers we've produced, in fact over 100,000 of them using the same technology, we've never had a failure ever.
Wow. Now the trailer itself, I mean, it's all coated. I can get different configurations here with the actual colors, axle rim combinations.
The trailer is completely customizable in color. They can be vinyl wrapped or painted to match the customer's vehicle. So there really is options when it comes to tailoring the trailer to a color, and as far as the tires and wheels can be matched to the owner's rig.
Now really cool. I mean, we got the sink, the stove, everything else. Let's talk a little bit about the camping aspect. I mean, it actually goes up and down. Yeah, you can see it go up right now. It's going nice and smooth too. I think our co-host is up there sleeping, Brian, but it does go nice.
The elevating rack system is another unique feature on this trailer. And it was designed so that you could actually use the trailer as a trailer. Oftentimes with camping trailers, you're limited to the gear that you can put inside, what you can house, what can I take. Well, we wanted to make this versatile, so we designed the elevating rack system so that you could fit a full-size quad or a motorbike, dirt bike, inside the cargo bed and actually bring your gear, your toys with you, and still have the aspects of a camping trailer in that we have a rooftop tent. We have provisions for an awning that you can see installed here. It's kayaks. I mean, it's endless and infinite options that you can mount to the rack system and still have that space inside the cargo bed.
Now the simplicity of just popping it up. I mean, the ladder, all the accessories that comes with it. We even have the roll top. I mean, that just rolls back. That's all there is to it?
Correct. So the hard rolling cover, it's actually a Truxedo titanium, hard rolling titanium cover, 400-pound capacity. And the nice thing about it is it's lockable so that you can actually close it, secure your tailgate, and you don't have to worry about someone coming up and open your cover while you're not around.
Well, Steve, it looks like you guys at Shutt Industries covered it all. I mean, this is definitely a rugged military-style vehicle. I'm going to wake Brian and get him up out of there so we can take this thing off-road. Check it out. Stay with us. We'll be back with more Motorhead Garage presented by Dustless Blasting.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting. Now, all of our products on Motorhead Garage are awesome, but this one tops the list. I'm here with Tom from Mobile Environmental Solutions. Tom, this amazed me. I mean, we rolled it out here, and in minutes, we got a mobile paint booth. Tell me about Mobile Environmental Solutions.
Thanks, John. That's the neat thing about it, is it literally just takes a few minutes. You got a paint booth. This one's here is a 23 by 15. It originally was designed for the guys doing used car reconditioning. Allow them that if they're working outside, if they're working in an environment that's not as clean, they can turn around and paint in a clean environment. And that's what this booth does. This booth gives them 17 air changes an hour. It runs off of two 110 volts, and it's just you just roll it out and put it to work.
Yeah, let's go through the process. I mean, that was totally amazing. I mean, we took out a little unit that probably was 4x4, could fit in a corner of a garage. I mean, nothing to it, and we got this in minutes. Let's walk through that process.
And that's all it is. You unroll it, just like a sleeping bag. You unfold it, you hook up your blowers, you give it less than a minute, it's going to pressurize up. As soon as you see the sides and the roof pop up and the doors pop up, you know it's pressurized. It's a cross-draft booth with positive pressure. So as soon as you do that, you're ready to paint.
Now, who is this booth perfect for? I mean, there's all kinds of applications for it. A paint booth, I mean, that's $40,000, $50,000. I mean, that's crazy.
And that's the neat thing about this, is it is mobile. It is, it's nowhere near the price of a permanent paint booth, although you can get the same quality paint job as you would a permanent paint booth. The cool thing, who all would want to use it, is you got your guys that do used car reconditioning, spots, blends, stuff like that. You got your do-it-yourself shops, your hot rod shops that want to offer painting but don't want to sub it out. They don't want to get their whole shop trashed by painting. They turn around, roll this out, set it up in one bay, air it up, go to town, and then turn around and put it up and put it back in the corner. That's 500 square feet of their shop that's not tied up to a permanent paint booth when they don't paint every day.
Absolutely. Now, Tom, I painted before, and I painted in a shop situation, just, you know, a couple of touch-ups. I mean, it probably wasn't more than 5 minutes, and my whole shop was covered with paint. Tell me a little bit about the system and how we're going to solve that issue.
That's the neat thing about this design, is it is a cross-draft booth with EPA-compliant standard paint pocket filters. So it's going to capture 98% of the VOCs that's going through there.
Now, it's just as simple as putting something in there and painting.
That's it. The neat thing about it is everything's Velcro. As far as swapping out filters, as far as running your airlines through. I mean, it's made for the professional painter, but it's perfect for the do-it-yourselfers and perfect for the guys that aren't full-time painters, or the full-time painter that needs an overflow booth because his main booth is full all the time.
That works out perfect. Now, are these panels replaceable?
Absolutely. The panels, the doors, the floors, should you tear one, should over time you get wear and tear, it's all replaceable with Velcro. And they're also marked with emergency exits. So should there be, you know, a fire or anything like that, you can escape very easily.
Well, Tom, I'll tell you, I work at a college, and, you know, we don't want to do a lot of painting because of this. This is a perfect opportunity for schools as well.
Absolutely. With the 360 degrees of ambient light, we have a ton of colleges that use it, part of their teaching program. You know, colleges got budgets just like anybody else, and that's the nice thing about it is they turn around, spend a little bit of money, but allows somebody to do some teaching without exposing all the kids to the VOCs and environments they can sit and watch from the outside.
Well, I'll tell you what, we put it to the test. We had a local painter, Danny. He went inside and he painted a fender. He's going to tell you a little bit about it.
This paint booth is exceptionally nice. It's got a lot of lighting inside, and the ventilation is great too.
Now, as a professional, is this thing helpful?
It's helpful for me mainly because I don't have a lot of real estate in my shop, and I don't do just painting every day. I do a lot of engine building to restorations to fabricating. So when it's time to paint, I can roll the booth out and paint, and it frees up a lot of space in my shop.
What have you painted in here?
I can paint everything in there. I paint everything from guns to cars to trucks, boats, it doesn't matter. So if it'll fit, I can paint it.
All types of paint?
All types of paint. Anything from single stage to base clear, anything that you want.
Now, what, you think a do-it-yourselfer could do it in here?
I think a do-it-yourselfer, I think that would be a lot easier for them because it's good for the environment too. Instead of just going outside and painting and letting the fumes go, somebody could roll this booth out and anywhere that there's space in their yard or anywhere, and I mean you can paint whatever you want.
What about profits? You making money with it?
You make more profit with this because you don't have the overhead of a permanent paint booth with all your sprinklers and things like that.
Well, you heard it from Danny. This thing actually works. It's phenomenal, easy to set up. Check them out at their website. The website is mobileenvironmentalsolutions.com. Now, when we rolled this thing out, Tom, Brian thought it was a jumpy house. We found out it's much more than that. But stick around. There's more Motorhead Garage when we return.
Motorhead Garage, presented by Dustless Blasting, is being brought to you by Gen Y Hitch, towing made easy. AMS Advanced Measurement Systems, the only company that can certify accuracy. RockAutocom, all the parts your car will ever need. And by Dustless Blasting, it's the future of surface preparation.
Nothing more frustrating than calling up a parts house, and after being on hold for 30 minutes, they come back and tell me it's a dealer-only item. Well, dealer-only items no more. RockAuto.com. Tom, you guys got dealer-only items on here and some specialty items. Tell me all about them.
We have parts that you'd expect to only find at the dealer, like body parts and complex modules and electronics. For example, here's an ABS control unit for a 2008 Chevy Impala. That's a part you'd only expect to find at a dealer. And we also...
No, I wouldn't expect to find any parts like that, especially ABS, sensor stuff like that. And the really cool part is the picture there. I mean, you know, if I'm holding up that part, I really don't even know what it is. I know it's the modules, the solenoids of what's going on, but the average person, they could match up the part, go right on the website, look at the part and say, man, that's it.
Right. Yeah, the dealer, it'll often be part of a bigger assembly that you don't need. And
right.
This is just, hey, this is the part that broke, this is the part I need.
Yeah, and think about that for a minute. I mean, it's $121, that ABS unit's $3,000, and they go buy an ABS unit and all they need is a solenoid pack.
Right. Here's an example of a grill for a 2005 BMW.
Now, a grill, I wouldn't expect at all a parts house to have a grill whatsoever.
Yeah, headlight assemblies, tail lights, fog lights, bumper covers, body parts that you think, hey, I got to go either find one at a junkyard that's in better shape than the one I'm replacing, or it's an expensive dealer part.
Right, and BMW to boot. I mean, you got another part in the basket there?
Yeah, here's a complex idle air control valve for a 2005 Camry.
Yep, I mean, there's your idle air control valve. I mean, you know, as soon as I get that dealer-only item, I'm thinking $1 gazillion. I'm thinking I'm going to have to wait about 6 weeks to get it. Not anymore. Just go visit them at RockAuto.com. Your dealer items are there for you.
Well, as the old saying goes, clean tools are happy tools, and a clean shop is a happy shop. I'm here with Donnie from SprayNine. Donnie, SprayNine is a product that can make those tools and your shop happy.
Correct, exactly. So, you know, we always worry about our cars, making sure our cars look good, our toys look good, but we don't think about the equipment that we use to maintain everything. So, you know, that's what SprayNine we're going to show you today. So it's not, you know, not just cleaning your car, but, you know, cleaning the tools, your screwdriver, your drills, your pliers.
Well, and as you well know, if you got grease like you have on the handle of the set of cutters right there, that grease is probably going to transfer to the door that you're walking in and out of and the other surfaces of your shop as well.
Exactly. Everyone always forgets that door, that shop door you go in and out of from the shop or from your home into your house. That door gets disgusting. So yeah, exactly. So, you know, here's another application.
Yeah, base of a screw jack that gets a lot of work underneath cars, so you got oil and grease dripping on it all the time.
So this was just grimy, and you can see that comes right off. First crack at it. No miracle of TV, that's natural.
Speaking of taking a crack at it, everybody has one of these plastic drain pans in the shop, and when you have one of these drain pans, it is like pretty much the grossest thing around. Everybody's handling it. It kind of gets accumulated oil on the outside of it. I've just sprayed the neck and this top area, and as you can see, the old oil and grime that's been on this for years probably comes right off with that first application. Quick rub. I let it set for about 10 seconds. It's working just like it's advertised.
Exactly. You know, now you don't have to replace it anytime soon. You got it for another 10 years.
That's exactly the way we want it, and John's cheap anyway, so we don't buy a whole lot of new stuff around here. You know, SprayNine, once again, has proven itself to be a versatile product, and a product that you should have in your shop, at your car, or your power sports vehicle, even your camper. It'll work on all of them.
Well, folks, that's all the time we have today for Motorhead Garage. If you want to get your product on, just email Jeff at masterstv.com. We'll see you next week right back here at the Motorhead Garage.